Minutes. Whoa, I didn't realize my hair looks so good. Hi. The lighting is very funny in here. I feel like I have an alien face. The lighting and the music. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So, over your Wednesday is moving through, and hopefully you're enjoying it. Right? Let's enjoy this together. So, Wednesdays are really about you and for you, as differently as much like really every other practice that I bring. It is for all of us, but in this sort of the truth practice, right? So moving into the veracity, the truth of your body and your being is what you really want to get into kind of relationship with in this flow. So I push less into the sort of hard, exercise muscularity, and more into the soft but deep feeling of the part of this that makes it so uniquely divine, I guess, which is you. So you as the yogi, find your way and let this be your meditation. So welcome. Come to a comfortable seat. Happy full moon. If you practice any of the full moon cycles, full and new, everything in between, you may sort of be tapped into a place where it's almost that when we go into initiation, there's kind of like an uptick, right? Or kind of a charging or a loading, a spinning wheel of thought, placement, replacement, how to direct the light and energy. So in this first week, as we kind of start to direct our light and energy, you can get this feeling for being in sort of a starting space, right? If you're in any way kind of moving towards the next phase and stage of things changing and shifting in your environment, right? Opening up establishments to dine, to devour, to enjoy, right? So you may be sort of noticing more business, lively, open around you. I also like to kind of consider ourselves also noticing the value of what we bring when we step into a space. So things, places, environments become activated by your presence, right? There's something really truthful in that, not just that your body heat warms a space to whatever fraction of a degree, but also your presence is known. And part of what that is now, as we start to feel again that we're a valuable entity to wherever it is we decide to adorn the environment with our being and presence. Let your hands come together at your heart. Think of this gesture, this mudra, is our generator, right? Our activator, our start button, if you will. In so many ways, we kind of draw in from all the forces, sources, right? The guides, the grounding, the growth. We come into this place, right? Almost kind of like zap ourselves into the zone for this practice, for your practice. Bow to that. To your heart, open your eyes. Okay, coming to the mat. I was kind of shifting back and forth between thinking, are we going to be more hip-centric today, or are we going to be more shoulders, right? I've been very sort of shoulder-hip, both and everything in between, core, midsection. And then today I think we should start with the wrists. So you can be standing or seated, right? We're just flipping the wrists in and out. If you do the same thing but straighten the arms, you influence farther up the arms. So we're going more into nerve gliding, right? So tendon also, right? Move them out to the sides. Go the other way, right? If it's at all possible, right? I get into this pattern of moving in one way, and now when I feel this is more about my thumbs. So in one direction of sort of flapping, waving, rotating in the hands and wrists, you might feel more the pinkies. The other way, you might feel more the wrists, and then outwards. And otherwise, when the arms are straight, you can do this with arms over the head too. You might feel the inner or outer version of forearms, elbows, and possibly upper arms, depending on sort of what you do in your life, and the way you use your body in your world, right? So shake that out, right? Little slide, one palm on top of the other, one over the head and run out and away. The other one on top, out and away. So clear the space. If anyone has sort of been sort of in your field of energy, take it back, right? So you get to your mat, right? And we're just going to gently take a little seat and then to straighten. You're going to sit again. You come up to stand. Again, sit. Forward bow. And your inhale, you sit. Go up to stand. Right. Exhale, sit. Inhale, straighten, forward bow. And one more time. Exhale, sit. Inhale to stand. And then exhale your arms down by your sides, right? You're going to sweep your arm out and back. Turn the palm to face forward. Take it forward in front of you. And then wrap across the heart and grab your opposite shoulder. Right? I should face the front right here. All right? So you're holding the shoulder and just going to feel that you're going to push now your breath into the back of your heart and your ribs. You're going to get a little bit of sort of that kyphosis here, which means slouching, basically. Right, let that go. Palm is facing toward the back, the back, the back. This is a little shoulder threading moment for my friends that need it. Pull back. Let it even, keep your hips square. Let it even pull the chest out with it. Turn the palm to face forward again. One more time, wrap it. Wrap really wide across so that you can grab that shoulder. And once you grab that shoulder, then slouch the spine, right? Just curve in, C-curve if you like to call it that. Okay, that next breath, we're going to just let that go, right? Switching left side, right? First, reach the left hand back, palm is pressing to the opposite side, then turn the palm to face forward, reach it across, grab the opposite shoulder, maybe the shoulder blade, right? And then fold, chin tuck. And your inhale, palm out, sweep away, let it pull the chest, the center fibers of your sternum with you, turn the palm forward, sweep it away. So I've been doing a lot of lifting and lowering, fold, building things at work. So I'm showing up to kind of get the space prepared, and so I'm noticing like sort of my body gets really, really stuck when I do repetitive motions. So I'm gonna bring back sort of the spontaneity. One more time, cross and curve. You pick it up and you release it out. All right, so we should be pretty good here. So lift and lower the shoulders, roll them back, roll them back. As I roll back, I'm walking back to the back of my mat, and now roll them forward, rock, walk to the front of your mat. Okay, arms up, sit to chair on the exhale, and then the inhale, straighten the legs. Awesome. Left foot, step it back, low lunge, and then come back up through warrior three, up to lift the left knee, and place that left leg across the top of the right? So you're going into a little Garudasana moment here, just to kind of stretch that capsule, outer hip, IT band. You might even notice while you do this, you're getting sort of the opposite side, that right hip, right, sort of from the glutes, come up to your low back. That's nice. Come back up to stand, left knee lifts. You're gonna open the hip. You're gonna step this back to a dancing warrior. Okay, so just kind of feeling that, press into the heel, come up, back into that right knee, come back up to stand, align the legs and sit to chair. Take your fold, touch the floor, head drops. So we're really kind of moving into sort of the fluid feel of changing these shapes without getting so sort of forced into the flow of the typical asanas, those little sort of expected moments of our vinyasas, right? Come up and go through warrior three, just gently to bring up the right leg out to front. Just kind of feeling if it gets a little crunchy there. Just gonna slow it down. Find that right leg, cross over midline to the left. I'm just going for a sit. My hands are just easily on my lap, my thigh, however you call it, on your body. Okay, so those are nice little activators. Feeling my running glutes here. Widen your right knee out to the right. Let that right foot step back. It lands into the back of the mat. Left knee bends and just gently feel, right? So we're all a little bit different in this dancing warrior, right? So depending on which heel you choose or investigate or invest in, right? You start to notice, right? Maybe I do need a pause or a moment or some space to kind of just notice maybe we're still activating, still loading up some information. Parts of the legs, muscles, your mobility. Okay, come back up through the right leg, lean into the left knee, you'll step into that left leg, so it's a really big step, which is the point of that action. Right knee bends, nice square hips, nice square knees, and then forward bow, head drops. Awesome. Inhale through a flat back. Your exhale, knees bend, hands touch, left foot steps back. This is a little quirky. You're gonna turn your left heel to the left and your right toes out to your right. So this is just kind of like a little extra turn on some of those sort of funny places that come up from the outer left hip. You might love or hate this one. Right, come back up and now we turn the other way. Left heel turns to the right, right toes turn to the left, and you very easily get into your dancing warrior here. Then this one, you can press into the right leg, we get back to the left leg. Pretty good, right? Right here, right heel turns right, left toes turn left. So you just switch sides, essentially. Right, and so you'll notice a little difference, right? I'm using some of my hands, not just to kind of keep me from falling, but just kind of also initiate the space to stay open through my collarbones, and then I choose how much I allow my right hip to kind of drop towards the floor, still with some activation. Don't let it go of your initiation, right? Take it back up, turn it over. This is gonna take you very easily back into your dancing warrior, into that left foot, forward to the right leg lunge, and then we come up. Again, warrior three, up to stand, left knee comes to the front, cross over the front, wrap it around your right leg, and then sit here. So this one's we're gonna add a little bit more We're gonna let your right elbow come down. So you might have to C-curve, flex the spine and get your right elbow to push into the top of your left thigh. Okay, so sometimes people get a little bit sort of thrown off by this. My right elbow is almost right above my left knee. Now my left knee, my left thigh, can push over to my left side to connect to that elbow. That's gonna also then sort of lift the left side of the chest and the ribs, which is pretty awesome if you've been congested today just by sitting or just stagnant with the energy that's been kind of waiting for us to activate. Okie dokie, come back up, left knee lifts, set that left leg back, right to the back of the mat. Straighten through the right leg. Left knee bends, sit a little bit more, right? You're gonna even further sit down. This is kind of cute. You're gonna turn over your left knee and then fold over that. This is kind of a deeper squeeze to sort of that low mid region of your thoracic vertebrae where your diaphragm kind of comes up towards your lungs. Okay, come back up. Go back to left knee up, over into the right leg. Step the left foot forward. Okay, inhale to a flat back. Exhale, hold. No big deal. Right here, it's right leg goes back. Go back for a low lunge. Awesome. First, we have to go back to our dancing warrior. Right, so we started, this was 2 dancing warriors. We began here. Right, you pressed to reach, to crawl forward. Awesome. You came up to lift that right leg around to the top. Cross over, top of that right left leg, and sit. Right, fold your breath, pull the belly in, right, over the top of the thigh so that you can kind of find the precision of placing your elbow. Find a place where this becomes meaningful once you actually pull in your creative energy and then make that interaction between left elbow and right outer knee sort of visible, right? And by visible, I mean it'll sort of get you a little bit more of that space to really feel the right side of your chest. Okay, you come up out of that. Ooh, that's a nice one. Feel a little unlocked from that. Right foot steps back, left leg straightens, right knee bends. Okay, this is the one that lowers and lowers and lowers you down. Right, you land. We're going a little further. Right knee bends, and you're going to kind of reach and sweep and fold your left arm. This could be a little dramatic. Could reach out past the knee. So when you tuck your chin, you're doing more than just sort of meets the eye, which is in the hips and the legs. You're getting all the way up through the neck, cervix, into the soul and the heart, right? So this is a little passionate fold, right? Come back up, right knee bends, press into that right heel, and you're gonna go forward into your lunge to the left foot, right foot comes to meet the left. Hopefully you're still on your mat. Inhale to a flat back, and exhale, fold. Awesome. All right, this one's a little bit sort of quirky. You're gonna right knee bend, right, left leg stays straight, right hand touch the floor, left arm goes up to the sky. And then this is gonna be a little thread through, left arm go forward, forward, and when it comes down, now switch the knees, left knee bends, go for the outside of your right ankle, right leg straightens, and then take the right arm up to the sky. Push your hand into the foot and bring the side of your ribs through, right? So you swing them through, you get this really nice long line from the tailbone to the top of the head, and then straight up through the arms. This is amazing sensation for the most hip hikers, for many of those places that energy can go stagnant. Okay, right hand comes down, both knees bend. Okay, come up to stand, left knee lifts, left knee goes wide and back, step it back. Awesome, right leg straightens, and you're gonna bend that left knee. Sit for a sec, lower it. First, we're gonna take left knee in towards center, so it's falling towards my right knee. I'm gonna get that twist that's from the outer right hip. You're almost kind of pressing the outside of the thigh down towards the floor. This is kind of sweet. All right, and again, then we're going to take this with our muscle energy over that left knee. Left knee's going to sweep back. Knee reaches towards the floor. Right arm reaches far away. Right hand away from right foot. I'm turning my face slightly to the left, not just to see you, hi cheek, but also to look at my left hand. Oh, that's a good one, right? I think because I've been running a little bit in the last few weeks, like consecutively, and so all these like little sort of nuances of the shapes have been really sort of pleasing. Press into that left heel, right? Heart's folding forward, right? Come up, you go to warrior one. Right, lean your weight so you can kind of feel yourself kind of stack on top of that right leg. Left leg lifts nice and smooth and slow. Left leg picks up, wraps around the right leg. And then we're going to go for that twist again. Right elbow outside of left knee. This time left arm goes up to the sky. That's pretty cute. You could even take left arm across the low back and find the top of the right thigh, maybe just with little tips of the fingers. Tuck the left shoulder down. Right, so it's the top shoulder, the shoulder blade, and into your ribs. So like your shoulder, your scapula is pressing your chest, ribs, sort of cavity towards your left. And a little bit down. Okay, let this go. Whoa. Come up, sit to chair, hips back, and then we'll take a little forward bow. No big lift. Okay, so we're kind of going into kind of the global space of the body. Right here, it's left knee bends, right arm goes up to the sky, switching sides. This is kind of a long way. Right arm's up. So there's always a spacious, modified version to not get sort of so like deeply tangled, right, and blocked or confused even, right? And this is one of them. This is a more open version of what we've been doing. Right, this one goes right arm forward. That's the top arm. Switch the bend of the knees. Now right knee bends, left leg is straight. Go for that left ankle, right? Outer edge of that left foot. And then really let the breath come up from that sort of low fold place of the low belly, up to the left arm. This is pretty good. So that bottom hand is a reminder, if you allow yourself to kind of stay initiated in your core, you press into that hand and you can really turn the heart. So if you were to be seen from the front, it's not all staying over in that straight right. You're actually turning a little bit more over into a back. It's pretty awesome. Whew. Left hand comes down, both legs straight. Here you go. Right knee bends. Right foot steps back, my bad. Right, you're gonna come up, just sink back into your dancing warrior. Right, you're gonna lower, lower, lower into that left hip. Okay, first right knee comes inwards. Right, so sorry for the shadows and the sort of lack of visual range. Turn over your left shoulder. Right. Whee! This one is kind of the best sort of twist for anyone that wants to feel sort of the sort of like how they own that shape of a back bend in the practice without having to be a high performance level of back bending and even weight bearing. Right knee sweeps again over the right shoulder, left arm reaching as far away from the back left foot. Right, the hand touch. Stay strong in the upper back, and then soften the heart only. Don't force the chin in the face, right? Really work from the heart space. Right, so if you start sort of feeling how to translate what that might mean, right? How that means, which is sort of less about sort of the destination. Your chin doesn't have to touch the floor, right? And what we want out of this is kind of a deep feeling of joy, right? Left arm comes up. Right knee goes up, right? Strong left leg, both feet, right? Fold in, so you get that fold in deep. The butt goes back. You can feel your inner thighs move back. We're going to come up to warrior one. Yay. That warrior one feels good. Lean into that left foot. Right leg comes up through warrior three. wrap it around nice and neat. It's almost like you can feel that right leg is almost off your body and up in the sky to transfer it over. Top of left thigh, wrap it around, sit the hips back, hook the left elbow, right? Feel the left ribs spin over to the right arm goes up, and then across the low back, here's a bind. Right hand to the top of that left thigh. Right, shoulder blade, again, like before, is pressing into your ribs and over to the side where your chest is facing. Okay? Pretty awesome. Let that go. Right leg goes up. Sit that to chair. Ooh, I'm not mad at that one. Lower, lower, lower in the hips. Sit into a little squatty malasana squat so you can feel your strength here. Knees pull back. Then you stack those hips over the heels to tuck your chin and get kind of glued to the thighs. Right, we haven't done a single vinyasa yet. Do a flat back. We will. Bend the knees to touch. Left foot steps back. Low lunge. Okay, we're gonna go for another one of those. Right toes turn to the right. Left heel turns to the left. And you're gonna lower entirely to the outside of that left hip. Whew. Okay, it's kind of a pretty awesome if you keep those feet activated and you keep your left shoulder kind of pressed down and your left shoulder blade into the ribs. This feels like some deep therapy, right? If you have family, mommy, daddy issues, this could be a source or a remedy. Take the hips up, pick up that right arm, sweep it over. Awesome. You're going to go over, switch the heels. Now left heel turns to the right. Right leg is going to shoot over to the left. And this is a nice moment for a fallen warrior. Now I want you to keep the legs. Right leg is over to your left. You have almost 90 degrees in the legs. And lean forward with the chest. And this is where we're going to chaturanga to the floor. So you widen the chest. And then peel that up for our nuanced little cobra up top. It's more cobra-like, right? So outside of the thigh, because you have this articulation to ever rotate that straight right leg. And this is free you out with any of those sort of binding tissues to get you a little stuck into the obliques, right? Very gently step the foot back and enjoy a couple breaths right here before we go to the other side. Me likey. Okay. Left foot steps forward. No big deal, right? Got a feeling for that. Turn the left toes to the left. Right hip, right heel turns to the right. Right shoulder sinks down and right hip lowers. So here's one of the sort of family daddy issues shape, right? So what that looks like, right, is really up to you and sort of how you notice what you're doing is something that's kind of putting yourself in sort of a real, like a beautiful state. Maybe that's repair or recovery, I don't know. Okay, come up, left hip goes up, left arm goes forward, and then left hand comes to the floor, right heel tips to the left. As the right heel tips to the left, then you're gonna shoot the left leg straight out to your right, and then you can go for it with all the gusto and space that you've opened, right? So fill that space with the energy that you want, right? So we don't have to deal with energy we don't want, especially other people's energy. So let this be yours, for you. Right hand to the floor. Whew. Left hip to the floor. I'm a blank slate for you, right? Actually, sorry, we were gonna chaturanga that one till the hip lands, right? I don't want you to miss that sort of shoulder strength moment here. Then you peel up, right? I happen to love sort of this opportunity in the legs because this is a pretty diverse sort of body mechanics capacity that we've sort of tapped into, right? Tap the right toes, place that left leg. You're in down dog. Let's do one sort of very familiar vinyasa, so you know you're right where you belong. Inhale the plank pose, right? Familiar with it. Right? Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to an up dog. And exhale to an all fours shape. Ooh, I like. Okay, right foot's gonna step between your hands. And then pick up that left knee and straighten the right leg. Right, then you're gonna bend both knees and right knee goes back. Right, tap back for a second for a little child's pose. Inhale, fill up from the back. You align to the spine, you're in all fours, hands and knees. And left leg lifts so that you can tap the knee and place the foot. Right, so this really good moment here where you kind of replace the work that you're doing in your hands, stabilize, you put it in the left leg. You tap the right knee, and then you take a little pyramid pose. Okay, both knees bent, left foot goes back, left knee back, both hips back. Your child's pose. Woo. Inhale, come up. There's your cat, your tabletop. Right leg goes back, right knee tucks in. Place that right foot again. Now we're gonna take up the arms a little more. We get Anjaneyasana. You lean back into that left foot. Okay. This one, you're gonna turn over your right shoulder. Right hand comes down for stability. It can go to your hip. It can go to the floor. It could even go to that left leg. Make the leg behind you. All right, and now pull the belly in. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears. That should be 2 cues that just kind of elevate the shape like profoundly, astronomically for your practice. That really makes this shape. Okay, follow left hand, right hand. Woo, tuck the left toes, straighten both legs. So I'm super like in that space, in that shape. I think that shape is maybe the one I was born into this world in, which is, sorry, mom. It feels pretty great. Both knees bent. And very therapeutic. Right foot, right knee to the floor. Left leg straightens. You build a little bit of momentum from the glute to the core, to the front, to the foot, to the front of the mat. Okay? Get that foot to land. And it's landing where you're comfortable that that knee is not going to lean into the toes. It's actually only going as far as the midfoot, possibly. The toes push you back up into that knee so it stays kind of back in your hips. So don't leave yourself with your mobility. You might be very flexible, right? But the other side of that is strength. You gotta keep it tapped in, right? Otherwise, if you go too far into flexibility, then your limb loses you, and you don't want to lose your limbs, right? Where's my limb? Woke up without my arm, right? Here's your Anjaneyasana. It's a pretty awesome shape, and then a nice turn of the ribs, right? And you're choosing to place your heart in this direction. So let your heart shine from the front over your left. Your left hand is either hip, leg, or floor, right? And then you go into further analysis, right? Where you know how to position your body. Pull the belly in, right? So belly button back through the spine. Press down that left foot. Pull the shoulders back and then press them down, right? And then as the chin lifts, you notice the shape really take hold. Right, you let your breath cycle through that, a couple breaths. Whoa! Inhale, come up, both hands to the floor. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Let's close that one out with a little child's pose, hips back. Right, and it's not because we're counteracting that back bend. It's just because this is a great way to cherish the work that you just put into making yourself so open, right? So giving yourself and forcing your practice, your living practice, right? So we take this off the mat. Hopefully, everywhere we go. Come up to all fours. Awesome. You're gonna lift the feet, right? Cross the ankles. Ooh. You're gonna rock back, flex the feet, right? Bring the hands back to the knees, right? So I have my toes tucked, my shins crossed, my fingers touch. My right shin is the closest to the floor, my left is on the top. So now when I push the floor away, I'm gonna pick up my knees, so straighten them. Now I've got crossed legs, right? And so whichever leg is on the top, right? Sort of crossing in the front. Walk your hands towards that foot and all the way around, and you end up being in a forward bow. You spin around. We call it disco twist, right? Drop the hips. Drop the hips, drop the hips. Widen the knees, widen the knees, widen the knees, right? Straighten the legs, drop the head. Right here, take this in for a moment. Hold the backs of the legs wherever you are, calves or heels, and let your head drop down towards your toes.
right, so right here, what you're doing is just releasing. We're in full moon mode, which means we're making sure that we've got clear surfaces, right? Lots of space for what we've been asking for. We have a great vision for what it's going to look like, and it is, right? So we're not waiting any longer. It's all about just kind of putting the right energy in the place on the shelf where it needs to be. Drop the hips, widen the knees again, widen, widen, widen. And then you may have to use your hands or use your mat, right? And to lower your butt. And then take your legs out in front of you. Okay, I'm still on my mat. All right, we're closing this out. Arms up to the side, heart up. Take a moment here. This is supposed to be sort of the, this is kind of our saber stable pose, right? Our seat extends down to your heels. And from wherever you are in your hips, we go up through the heart, and the heart goes out through the hands. So you kind of take your kind of most profound places of security and love, and then we place it into the extensions of how we move through the world, right? Through our limbs. However long your limbs are, right? Fold forward, unite. Oh, feels so good. Awesome. Inhale, come up. We'll cross the legs and come to a nice tall seat just for a moment. And last thing to kind of pay attention to in your practice, because we know that in the world of speaking, right, we communicate through our voices. We know where our voice comes from, right? We practice it from our voice box, our throat, our windpipe. But it's only because of what's happening on the inside. Does that wind, does that force, do those pipes create that sound, which is your truth? The words that come out, right? Being your requests for what you want. Putting a couple of clarifying breaths here, even in your practice being cleansing, so you know that everything that comes out here is true. Ferociously true, right? Vibrantly true. That should bring a smile to your face, right? Let your hands come together, your heart. You big inhale, and your exhale, you bow to all those places described and felt. Namaste. Right, feel in those sort of trippy vibes of the practice of yoga, right? No matter who you are, however corny I sound, if you're really kind of there, you're kicking it with the vibes, I'm fading right out, you get it, right? Because that's what it's for, it's you. Thanks for coming. Stay cute, talk soon. See you on Friday, 6 p.m.